it's me. What? It sounds like a squeaky balloon. Hi, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday, July 27th. I hope you're well. It's a different time today for readings. My younger two kids went out of town with their dad because he is novelty based and he likes to do new and different things. And my oldest really likes to stick to routines. And so she and I stayed home, and he went with the other two out of town for the weekend, and they'll be back. So I wanted to do earlier readings. Say hello if you're here. Nice to see you. Trying to think of any kind of current event things I can. Hi, Gabrielle. How are you? Trying to think of like any current event topics I can talk about. I know BB is in the hospital. Apparently he was supposed to be, I don't know, in front of a hearing of some sort regarding his terrible behavior. Hi, Allie. How are you? And apparently this has happened before where he just, all of a sudden gets sick. So who knows? Okay. Hi, JA. Okay, I'll check that. And then Gabrielle, I got your payment as well. Okay, I got yours, JA. And then if you guys hang around, remember till the end, you guys can have a free Oracle card reading. So for whoever who's here at the end. Ugh, sorry. I mixed in some electrolytes in here. Part of it did not mix up well enough, I guess. So it was like just a chunk of like, bleh. Okay. Sorry. Hi, Katrina. How are you? Okay. So far I have JA and Gabrielle's first. So I've been working on this and I want to see what you guys think of it. And I want your input and your ideas of what we could include in the community that I want to create. And I really want to have it out by September 1. That's my goal. That's my date. Because I figured out how I can do it on the Stan store and have tiers and how to add stuff in and create stuff. And then you'll be linked into that Stan store community if you purchase like the monthly thing, and there'll be different tiers that you can, and different things you get with it. But like standard for everybody would be a daily card reading, a weekly journaling prompt. You would get one live meditation. And I don't know if I'm going to do it on YouTube or do it on Zoom and then post it to YouTube, how I'll do it. Like if you'll do like the Zoom, that'll be standard for everybody, just the one. And then I was thinking for like the top tier, people would have, okay, Allie, people would have a weekly live meditation also included in that. Do either like a bi-weekly manifesting live dialogue coaching type thing. And we could do that on Zoom. Again, I want to try and get everything so where you feel like you're in a group, in a community. And then I can always post it to like, you get private addresses. So I can post it to like a private YouTube and then put that link in your, like in the tier that you're, paying for, or in the community if it's for everybody. Someone else mentioned doing, I think it was Misty mentioned doing like in the community part, having like a discussion where you put like your dreams and have people interpret your dreams, which I think is totally fine. And where you can talk about your manifesting goals in the community, and we can like all sort of manifest for each other and sort of go through that. I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. And I can either post the daily card readings in the community itself, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. So how I'll do it, because it really just has to, I don't know. I haven't quite figured out how they do it, but these are ideas. I don't know what you guys think or you want to do. I was thinking also like if you're the top tier, maybe you get like once a quarter or like twice a year or something like that, like opportunities to do like a discounted reading, because I never offer discounts on my readings because I just feel like, I don't know, I just don't. They just what like I have a very reasonable rate for what I do and for how long I've been doing readings, so I've never offered them. So you guys tell me what you think. And the other thing I like about like the meditation part is just the idea that first of all, I think energetically it's really awesome to meditate in a group. I have always had way cooler experiences because there's that collective energy. And again, I'm not going to like offer pretty reasonable rates. So you're not going to be, wanting to die, but if you're, I don't know. So I haven't figured out. So if you guys have ideas that you would think like, hey, this would be really cool if you added this in or didn't or whatever, share them here, because I will definitely incorporate those ideas, because again, it's a community and I want to provide something. Oh, the other thing I thought would be really cool is doing like once a month, like every month have a theme. And so like I also want to focus on self-concept work. And so that's like the journaling prompt will be towards self-concept work. And then also and like reprogramming belief systems, because I mean, that's like a thing that I've noticed from doing readings is just how many of us don't have great self-concept, and it's not your fault and it doesn't make you a bad person, but like, why not grow towards that? Hi, Crystal. Crystal, these are paid readings. So they're $12 a question. I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Excuse me. I will include the link for payment here. And then if you don't have money to pay, that's no problem. But if you stay to the end and kind of hang out here with us, then I will do free Oracle card pull readings at the end. But here's the payment. So you can do that. You can just listen to what I'm sharing about. So with the community, and it's Anna Lisa, by the way. Anna, A-N-A, middle name Lisa, L-I-S-A. I'm not, no offense if anybody's name is Lisa, but it's not my name. And so what was I going to say? The other thing, I was thinking of themes. And then also I bought some books on doing like, that I would like share like little different things about like maybe doing sigil work. So, and other modalities and like looking at tarot, because as a teacher, like while I lean towards really trusting your own intuition, and we can talk a little bit about like, I might have a separate course for psychic development. But we can talk a little bit about that. And like, I encourage you to use that. Other things are not bad or less than if you're not totally just doing everything like the way I do readings. They're just tools. And I never really leaned into them, not because I thought less of them, but because I was so science and math oriented that I really looked at probability more than anything. And if I was going to trust anything, I just wanted to trust myself over the cards. But I also think that like some people are a little nervous about trusting their own intuition. And so why not teach you different modalities and different things? That's why I've been doing like the readings at the little card readings at the beginning of every email that I send out every week, to get myself more comfortable with it, so that I feel like I can walk you through also using your intuitive abilities with stuff. So anyways, share what you think. Let me know. Let me fix this because I've got it on top chat again. I hate that that's the automatic rather than just live chat, because I mean, I get maybe other people have more chat on their things, but like also I want to see it all. You'd love to learn more about tarot and intuition as well. I feel sometimes it's hard to decipher between my intuition and anxiety. First things first, intuition is always calm. Always. It's always quick. It's always quiet. Hang on. I'm just going to I feel like the camera is like shmeary. Is that better? I don't know. It's always quick. It's always quiet. It's like here and gone. And it's not the nag that anxiety is. Anxiety is like, oh my God, did you do this? Did you do it? Oh my God. It's like this, like, it heightens all of your nervous system and it won't shut. Now, intuition can repeat itself. and you might get the message several times because you're not listening, and it might get louder, but it's not like continuous. Whereas anxiety is like continuous, like, oh my God, what if it is? It's going to die. Da, 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 da. Oh my God, the world's going to fall apart. How can I do this? Ugh. Like, that's not intuition. It's totally like, hey, so like, by the way, you're going to fly off the road in a few minutes. And you always feel okay about it. You're like, okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Like, it doesn't elicit fear ever. Okay, so my readings have pushed you to read more books of self-help and getting to Pilates to help with stress relief and staying at the present moment. Excellent. Thank you for, I'm glad that like, I think that's part of why I do readings, why I try to make them accessible to people, because I think most of the things that we struggle with in life stem from a world that taught us not to trust our own intuition ourselves and not to fully embrace ourselves and our imperfection. Even in like the spiritual community, you'll see things where it's like, well, it's God's plan. And I'm like, fuck that. Like, empower yourself more. Or, and this was like no shame to the person who I was kind of going back and forth with. And it wasn't a beef at all. It was a very respectful back and forth. But they were like, and it was around Trump. And they said, well, like, I try to just have compassion because he's human. And I was sort of like, because people were like, I hope he dies, blah, blah, blah. And like, I guess my thing is, especially when it's somebody like, I am not a compassion for everybody kind of person. Like, I am like, I get he's human and I get all of his toxic, crazy behaviors come from some sort of abuse he suffered as a kid or what was modeled to him. And also just indiscriminately harming so many people for this idea of being in power and in charge and getting what you want and to fulfill your greedy nature, which is honestly, the greed thing is just like mental illness, because that is a hoarding behavior. Even if it's money and power, it's all hoarding behavior. I think it's okay to have righteous anger and to feel like they deserve to get what's coming to them, kind of thing. And like, wishing ill will, like, I don't think that that's a bad thing. And even Jesus had righteous anger for the people, like the tax collectors and the businessmen were harming the masses. So on a personal level, I can have compassion for someone and also realize that, like, and it's their responsibility to take accountability and or deal with the consequences that are handed them. I think that's what I really like about the spiritualist community, the spiritualist church, is one of their tenets is that, there's no force outside of you that's forcing your hand to do bad or good. Like, you are responsible for all of your actions, good and bad, and the consequences that come with those, good and bad. So yeah. Off my pulpit for the day. Probably not. There's probably more that'll come oozing out. So let's go with our list. And I've got Gabrielle first. And let me just put that list up. And so at a point, I'll close the list and we'll work towards finishing those and then doing the card pulls. Katrina, I got your payment. Let me check. See who else I got. JA, I think you keep changing your screen name on me. It's like hard to keep up with. Hi, Fern. How are you? On a little bit earlier today, so that I can do family stuff this afternoon when my kids get home from vacation with their dad. I know, but it's like, I know, but your name on here says JA. Look at your screen name. See, it keeps changing. Before it was Jeep for a while. It just changes. Then I have Allie and Katrina. And also, I brought my reading glasses today for reading the little books when I do your card pulls. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, when you say like really and truly eat as if you're diabetic. Take all the added sugars out, take all of that stuff out, and eat as if you're diabetic. Make sure you're taking your vitamin D, D3K2. Vitamin C really helps too. But eat as if you're diabetic right now. It's very interesting since I've cut out a lot of the processed sugars. And there's no sugar in this like mineral mix that I put in here, by the way. But since I cut those out, even when I have a small amount, I notice that I'll get like night sweats. I'll have like just certain things kind of come back where I'm like, oh, that's like not great. So, and I almost don't, and so that I eat fruit and all that other stuff. And I eat some grains. I don't eat a ton of grains just because, I don't know, but I eat potatoes and all that stuff. That doesn't seem to bother it. It's just sugar. So, but if you eat like you're diabetic, but I always make sure I'm getting fiber and stuff. So it sort of offsets some of that other stuff, but it's really kind of interesting to like just try it. It doesn't sound fun, but honestly, I feel a lot better. So I'm not, and it doesn't mean I never eat any kind of sugary sweets or anything, but it also like, I get over like, you realize how sweet so many things are when you sort of kind of clear your palate of it for a while. Hi, Nancy. Nancy, these are paid readings, and I pinned the comment with the payment availability. They're $12 a reading. I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. If you want to hang around, I'll do free Oracle card pulls at the end. But right now, when I connect into your energy, I do expect like this in this capacity. I do expect an energetic exchange because when I was doing this kind of reading for free, people became pretty nasty and it drained me, and it really made me hate doing readings for everybody. And I don't want to hate the process of it because this is an ability and a skill that I have worked really hard to hone. And I do believe it's helpful for people. And so I don't want to hate it. Okay. So Gabrielle. Okay. Have you been coughing lately? Because that's not normal. I don't know if there's something in the air that's creating an irritant, or if this is like maybe a cold coming on, because it doesn't feel like old to me. I'm just trying to figure out, because I keep seeing this like little animal, and I don't know if it's like a little white dog or a cat, because I just see it curling up near my feet. Like if I'm standing there, it's curling up right at my feet. And there you think, well, you can tell the difference between a cat and a dog. I'm being shown the face of like, have you ever seen that movie, Neverending Story? You know, the dog dragon thing, whatever that thing is that flies. I keep seeing that face. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm like, well, what does this mean? Is it symbolic? And they're sort of saying like the magic is right at your feet. It's right there. All you have to do is tap into it. I do feel really tight in my jaw. So maybe you're clenching a little bit more. Nancy, I got your payment. Okay. Hi, Michelle. Sure. You can just go ahead and purchase one. You were fostering a little kitty and we ended up adopting him. Oh, how cute. What color is he? And he's at your feet right now. Okay. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. Did you name him Magic? Your AC went out and you just got it fixed. And you've been super stuffy. Okay. He's a little tabby kitty. I think he may be a Maine Coon. Oh my God, I'm jealous. I love Maine Coons. Ugh. I mean, I'm not jealous. I've just heard they're amazing and they're like dogs. I've had cats and dogs, and my bunny is the first like exotic pet I've ever had. Well, my roommate had a bird in college, but it wasn't my bird or responsibility. So I do wish I would have been a little bit kinder to it. I wasn't mean per se, but it would like I would come home from going to class like all day, or like I would do clinicals in the morning. So this like 6 to 3 clinical. And then I would come home and I'd sleep for a chunk of time. And then I would go do nights at the hospital as a student nurse intern. They basically wanted a cheap RN because I had my own full load of patients. And the bird would like call out, like as soon as they would come in, it would go, hello. And I would just like shut my door and be like I gotta go to bed. And I wish I would have been more friendly with it now, especially understanding like how smart and like probably lonely the poor little thing was while we were gone. Okay, so maybe I'm just actually tapping into the physical cat, and then the other messages is Magic is at your feet. Um, is he like a lighter tabby? I just kept seeing a light color. Okay, Michelle, I'll put once I've gotten your payment, or I'll have to look for it. Let me finish answering some questions first. There's a few people ahead of you, but I'll get to you. He is lighter color. Okay, that's probably why I'm seeing the lighter. I feel like there's probably going to be another cat. I got to tell you, because I don't think he's a single. Like I just keep feeling like there's another one. There's another one. There's another one. So I don't know if I don't know. I feel like there might be another one coming in, and it might come in as like a because you want him to have a like a buddy. Um, I know your son is really little, but he's really gonna like they're gonna be very very close. Um, and I feel like this cat is gonna be so chill with him. I even feel like you can easily brush this cat and he's just like flops all over and it doesn't really matter. He doesn't care. It's interesting because I also feel like he's going to be very healing for you on an emotional level. Um, like it's sort of what your house needed. I don't see him being totally crazy. Like I just keep seeing him like rolling from side to side and just like being kind of like jello. They're also talking about like that you've really been doing a lot of work on an emotional level, and that so it's going to be much easier when mom comes back to transition to dealing with her. Remember that when you're creating a new practice, whether it's a new belief system or manifesting or developing your intuition or whatever it is, that it's a practice. And so, people will say like, well, I've been doing the IMs for 6 months and nothing's happened. And I'm like, yeah, because it's a practice. Like, how insane would I be to be like, well, I started ice skating 6 months ago. Why am I not doing a triple axel? Like, well, because you have to start with building blocks and like some stuff you're going to manifest way easier than others. And like, give yourself room for imperfection. And rather than looking for like only perfection and nothing else, look for progress. you getting better at it? Are you getting like birds before land? Are you noticing those changes? Like with your mom, are you noticing you get triggered less? Are you noticing that like you're able to like sort of set that boundary and be like, yeah, I get like that this might make you feel more in control and ease your own anxiety. And also, if I don't do my laundry today, who cares? Yeah, I can imagine the anxiety must be hard with it, but like, it's just those old patterns. And so you have to look at it and be like, no, you sort of have to like personify your anxiety like a toddler because it is kind of toddler behavior. And it's a very sophomoric energy of like, okay, so like while you were here to protect me in some spaces, it's no longer protective or helpful and it's now harming me. And so like I get anxiety that you're nervous, but what I'm telling you is that I'm a whole grown up and you can take a back seat and it's okay and I've got this. No worries. I tend to personify lots of things because I feel like it helps my brain go, oh yeah, like this gives me an active way of approaching it rather than feeling like I'm a prisoner to it. So like when I quit smoking, hopefully my kids aren't watching. Um, I made it like a guy I was breaking up with, where I was like, look, went outside, had a long conversation and chain smoked a little bit and said like, we were great for each other at a point and I really enjoyed our conversations, our interactions. Um, and like, yeah, it was a lot of fun. And also like, it's no longer working for me. And so it's time to go. So then when I would get like a craving, I could just like, no, like we already talked about this rather than being beholden to that craving and like, when's it going to pass? When's it going to pass? When's it going to like, so if you can personify and be like, no, like anxiety, it's time to go sit down. It's like not your stage. You're not taking front and center. You're not the one who's supposed to be in charge right now. Um, oh, you're very welcome. I think it's been helpful to me and I think it's such an easy way to do it. Like if we just can make our brain just take back seat. Even with my daughter, here's the thing about anxiety is like it's okay to have anxiety. My kids have anxiety mostly because of the neurodivergence. It seems to go hand in hand. And there was you know, long car drives are very hard for my older, like my youngest one a little bit, but really they're just like my oldest one doesn't want to do long car drives. She also doesn't want to leave the bunny in our routine. Even if it's going to be doing something fun, it's really hard for her to wrap her brain around it because rigid autistic thinking, right? It's just, it is what it is. And it's okay. And like, you know, but like, my middle one really, she was saying like, I really want to go. It's not that I don't want to go somewhere with daddy alone. And my husband and I are married. So it's like, but I'm usually always there because I'm the primary caregiver. And, she said, I know I'm going to have fun, but I'm also really scared about leaving. And I had to say to her, like, it's normal to have anxiety. Like it's normal to be anxious about doing something new, or it's normal to be anxious about interactions with people who haven't been the healthiest, especially when you're just working on your boundaries. And so if you can give your self space to go, I'm not weird. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm normal. Take that shame and that weight off of yourself. That's really important. That's the first step. So like acknowledging like, of course I would have anxiety in a situation like this because it's been really emotionally stressful on me. Right. So I would tell her, like, when I went to San Antonio for my uncle's funeral, like, I told her, I was like, I've been there a million times. I would spend a month with my grandmother every summer in San Antonio. Like, and I was going to see family. Like, these are people I grew up with. These are my core group of people. And I haven't seen them in a long time, but I wasn't nervous about that, but I had anxiety. And I was like, so like even doing stuff that I'm familiar with, I was like, I get nervous about stuff. I get nervous about doing new activities and going new places. And I sort of go, but I don't want to miss out on life because I'm going to let that take over me. And I said to her, I could allow you to stay home, but I don't want you to because I don't want you to miss out on fun experiences because you're allowing this to take hold of you. And so like I kind of pushed her to go, and I pushed her out the door. I was like, okay, it's time to go. Cause it was already like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, you have a long drive, you need to go. And I was like, here's all the things that you can have snacks. So if you're hungry, let's download some videos, like, and you can call me if you want along the way. Like, but like, let's go and rip the Band-Aid off. Like I said, it's just like when you're have to jump into a really cold pool. Sometimes it's easier to just jump in the deep end and get it over with than doing what I do, which I can't stand like anymore. When I was a kid, I did it that way all the time. And now I'm like tiptoe, because my body is like, no shock, no extra stress necessary. So like sometimes you just have to tell your anxiety, like you have to tell that you have to be a parent to yourself. That's the reparenting bit of reminding yourself. Well, I get that your mom doesn't believe in anxiety, but like, and you can't always just let it go, but you can honor it and also say, and like, this is a very real thing. It's in the DSM-5. So I don't know what to tell her about it not existing, but it certainly exists and it's been found through studies. And I think that there are different reasons for it, but I think it's really important to just honor that, honor where you're at, and who gives a crap if your mom believes in it or not. Like, my mom didn't realize that goldfish are a carbohydrate and turned into sugar, and she thought they were a healthy snack. Like, I was surprised at how much my mom didn't know about nutrition until like later. So like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, sometimes parents just don't know. I mean, I think everybody is winging it as a parent, to be honest with you. And then you learn and you educate yourself more and you go, oh, yeah, my parents didn't know anything. Or they knew some things and they just really weren't great at other things. So she doesn't have to believe in it for it to be valid and real, a real experience for you. And it can be a valid and real experience for you. And you can also just tell it, like start personifying it to help ease it a little bit as you're moving through it. And then I always try to get her, like with my daughter, I try to get her to do something while we're going through it, like to go, like give her jobs to do, sort of puts her brain out of that fight or flight mode. So like if you're having anxiety, do something like physical, go for a walk, just do something to kind of put your brain in a different mode. Singing helps too. Okay, moving on. Camel, you're up next. And I'll update the list. And Fern and Nancy and Michelle. Okay. Sorry, I just realized I didn't spell Nancy anywhere close to being right. I don't know how I messed that up, but I did. Okay. For studying accounting, will it go well? That's the outcome. I actually feel like it's a great like direction for you to go. I feel like you're good at recognizing patterns with numbers, and I don't know if it's like seeing better ways of doing something or something. I just feel like you're like, this is like up your alley. And I don't know if you'll be doing taxes for people or bookkeeping, but I feel like it's like good because it's a little bit of people interaction, but not needing to do a ton. Crystal, Candace, these are paid readings. You'll notice there's a pinned comment for payment. It's $12 a question. 30% goes to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. If you want to hang out, if you don't have the money to pay for a reading, I will do free oracle card pull readings at the end when I close it. But they're paid otherwise, just because you're asking me to tap into your energy. So there should be an energetic exchange. Yeah, I definitely could see you working from home for that. Yeah, Michelle, I have you on. Oh, I forgot to put you on the list after Fern. I apologize. You were right after Fern, and I was rushing through. But yes, I saw that you paid. I apologize. Let me update that for you. Allie said, I think anxiety comes from the external environment. I realized we focus so much on people and situations and forget that we have to care about ourselves too. For sure. I think it's that part of it. Like if you really start looking at it, it was like, okay, well, what am I really afraid of here? And so I'll do that with my daughter a little bit too. Like, what are you really afraid of? Like, are you afraid of the ride? Are you afraid of, like, we try to break it down that way. And also, like, are you afraid of judgment, right? When you get anxiety around something, well, yeah, like whatever. So it's like then you work through that. I am part of it. But the other thing is like, it can be physiological. Like you could be, your minerals and vitamins could be depleted, and that can create a neurological, a neuro response to it. So anxiety or depression. You could also have histamine issues, which can cause an anxiety, migraine, depression response. So it's always worth exploring, I think. I know that when I eat too much gluten one day, the next day I will have anxiety, sometimes 2 days. So I just don't really eat gluten. And it's like, I'm not being restrictive because I think it's going to kill me or it's terrible for my body, but I recognize that there are actual responses and that's a histamine response. So I start, start keeping a food diary and then looking at like sort of if do you notice any patterns in how you feel? Is your anxiety worse? Are you having more neck pains or joint pains or anything like that? That's you're going to hear a lot of information out there about different things. Cold plunges for a long time was like, it's all the rage. It'll decrease your cortisol, blah, blah, blah. Well, it actually doesn't do that for women, but you can do your own observational research on yourself. And don't change a whole bunch of things at once. Just change one thing at a time so you can see if that's the thing that's working. Oh, hang on. Yes, you asked if I saw you working from home, and I said, yeah, I quite possibly this is what it is. Because that might be the thing where you also put in like on Fiverr or whatever, you're a bookkeeper and you're picking up jobs that way. You realize your thyroid medication was too high, you got it lowered, and I don't have heart palpitations and trembling. That's perfect. Okay, Allie, your question is next. So if you want to ask your question. I do feel like it'll go well. It's a good thing, a good area to move into for you. I feel like you'll like it too. I think, there's things that's like, it'll work well for you. Yeah. Your readings have pushed me to read more books, self-help, and getting into well. Did you write that again? You're welcome. Oh, Allie. Okay. I was like, you wrote that again. Or did you just Oh, buy my house. Last time I asked if I'll own my own home. And I think you somehow unintentionally predicted that my parents are going to give me their house. I don't remember that. So if anybody's new here, just remember that I don't remember most of my readings. So you tell me I said something, okay. um, I do think you end up like when you say that, I'm not like, oh no, that's not going to happen. You're going to buy your own separately. I do, but I also think there's going to be an exchange of money through, like, I don't know that they'll just, and it feels like it doesn't feel like it'd be market value. But it does feel like there is an exchange of some amount of money. And they still are living there and everything else. So I'm not really sure I understand if it's, but it feels like there's some aspect of it. So I don't know if it's like paying for the legal part of it. It's just whatever it is, it's a small amount. I keep getting like 50 or 60,000. It's not market value. Like I feel like your home is worth much more than that. But I don't know if this goes like into an account for them or exactly what it is. Yeah, that's my feeling. And it would be your house. I don't think it's a terrible house. I do feel like you'll update it a little bit. You want to leave the town? Mm. I mean, I can be wrong. And you have the power to change and do whatever you want and have the experience you want. Um, I think sometimes things in life occur where we change our minds and decide that maybe it's not so bad. I don't know how to explain that in any other way. All right, let's move on. Katrina, you're up. And then Fern. I'm wondering if you could do a general reading for my Pembroke Corgi. Her name is Bernadette. Sure. I know this is dumb, but living or dead? And I'm just going to tell you, like, I feel stomach issues and jaw issues, like really sore in my jaw here with her. I'm kind of nauseous. Okay. I mean, it could end up being an investment home for you, Allie. Okay. So has she been having issues with eating or chewing, and then feeling like nauseous or throwing up or not wanting to eat? There's something around that. And I felt really tight in my jaw. Um, I almost feel like when I kind of ask, like, well, is there something you can do with the tightness? I feel like she's really tight in here. So, like, making sure you're massaging. It sounds so silly. Just kind of massaging her muscles and helping with that. Um, she doesn't like the heat because I just feel like I'm like going outside is awful for her right now. She's showing me she prefers the fall. I feel like she likes to play in the leaves. She's been okay, but has a bit of lethargy lately. She had surgery to remove some teeth. Oh, that might be it then. But I just feel like doing some massages on this muscle part. She does not like the heat. Yeah. Is it arthritis in the front here? I feel like and the front shoulders. On her right shoulder. Yeah. It's a little bit on her left too. Like joint pain. She's she's eating, but I still feel like nauseous and like it doesn't feel good in my tummy. So I know you were saying she's lethargic, but I just feel like my stomach doesn't feel quite right. That might be why she's feeling lethargic to you. She really doesn't like the heat. I'm telling you, she does not like being outside. She's at your feet right now. She doesn't like being outside in the heat. Like I just feel like, ugh. She'll be okay. I almost feel like if you just gave her some tummy rest, like if you gave her like, just did like some ground chicken and rice for just a day or so, she might kind of pick back up. I just don't feel like she really likes the heat at all. It just feels exhausting. That could be exhausting for sure. She's not bringing that up to me. So it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm so like, oh, I can't even handle that. Like, I don't feel like that's an issue. She brought up to me specifically the heat. She doesn't like the heat. Um, I feel like she likes she likes that. I don't know if you know he does this. I feel like he shares things with her, like sticky jelly like or something, like a jelly on his hand or like a fruit roll up. There's something where she likes that he shares that. I don't know. She likes that. She likes the way he smells. It is. Um, Tanita, these are paid readings. They're $12, and the link for that payment is um, pinned. I was like, what are linked, posted, pinned? And I donate 30% to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. Your toddler is always sticky. um, she does not like. Um, no, like she's not making me feel like, oh, I don't like him or he's bothering me. Um, I just feel like I could feel him kind of pulling on my fur a little bit, but it's not terrible. Um, I feel like she really understands that he's little. And she just likes the way he smells when she likes the sticky. Because she's showing me like licking them. um, and I don't even feel exhausted from him. Yeah. And she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind. Like he's not hurting her. So he's pulling, but he's not really hurting her. Um, I mean, obviously it's good to just teach him, gentle hands, things like that. But she's okay though at the same time. Like she's not, I don't feel like I feel like it's a fear of yours that she might bite him. Um, I think it's okay to teach him anyway, like boundaries, that even animals need to have their boundaries and safety and gentle touch and things like that. That's all very and good, and how to read. And he's capable of understanding that in his, um, she definitely knows she's loved. I don't feel like not, like the world's been taken over and I'm, chopped liver. But I would address like just for like a day or so, give her a break from whatever the food is that she normally eats, because I just feel like she just needs a little bit of a gentle rest, because my stomach again felt a little tight, nauseous-y kind of feeling. Have you had her calcium levels checked? Just the next time she goes for her, because I think they consider her a senior dog. And if they do lab work on her, just ask about calcium or bone, or if they do like, I don't know. Okay. I mean, it's not, to me, it doesn't feel urgent, but it's just, it kind of came like as a way of coming through of information. So I don't know. Might be worth checking. Okay, Fern, you're up. And then Nancy. I just want to check the emails quick. Oh, Tammy, I got your payment. So I'll add you to the list. You can donate again. I'll just add you to the back of the list. I like being able to connect with pets too. When I was a kid, I was always really good with animals. I just gravitated to them very easily, and I talked my aunt into adopting dogs. like, People would joke that they had to be careful around me because I would just easily talk them into um, but I think energy is energy is energy. Like even trees are, you can connect easily with trees. So I go on walks and there's one tree, like a few of them, but one tree in particular, I kind of always like high five. I like feel like that on the leaves. And what was funny is I was yesterday, then I was in the I didn't go walking until the evening last night, and but earlier in the day, I like all of a sudden randomly, like I was not thinking about a walk, I wasn't doing anything else, and I saw this like tree pop into my head, and I was like, oh, I wonder if maybe it's trying to connect with me energetically. How cute is that? But animals are like, they have like complex thoughts and feelings too, and very easy to connect with if you're just open to it, I guess. Some of your animals have like very funny. Oh, so then yesterday when I was walking near my tree, actually right before my tree, this dog and his owner were, or her owner were, she was trying to take her on a walk, and she was like sitting there looking at me, like wasn't moving, not sniffing, just sat there and stared at me. And I said, "Oh, are you waiting to meet me and be introduced?" And then she got so excited and she came running at me. And it was really cute because then she's a yellow lab, and she just like rolled, belly up, ready to be petted, and she was just the sweetest thing. Her name was Luna, which I thought was really cute. Okay, JA, I got you. Um, oh Jesus. Tammy, I'm not sure if you're watching. I'm going to answer yours offline, if that's okay. Um, okay, let me just remove her from the list. I'm going to answer hers offline. Um, Some deer ate your plant and I'm looking after it and I tell them to heal and to make it. Yeah, do it. I talked to, like, when there would be like big storms, I will talk to the trees in my yard and just like remind them that they're strong and they can do it. Like, and I swear, so two of my neighbors, because of the way it's like the way my house sits, there's like it's like hard to explain, but basically the one neighbor is building a house and has been building it for years. It's like, that tree is in the way of me getting the solar panels. And I'm like, that's healthy. Like, why are you cutting it down? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Like, figure it out. And like, also, this guy is like, the house is nowhere near being done. They're not any time moving in. Like, you want to cut my tree down that I've been enjoying because, and the other guy was like, yeah, it's gonna, like, there's a branch, and if they cut that down, then it's gonna like die. Anyway, it was all bullshit, is what it was. And so they cut down this tree, but it was was on an easement in my yard. And I was really mad at it. And I think the other trees were really mad too, because then the next big storm we had, a huge branch fell on the fence of one of the guys. And I thought, they're coming after you. Okay. Nancy, are you still here? You want to ask your question? If not, we can move on to Fern. I was wondering if another relationship is in the future for me. I'm a widow of 5 years and would love companionship again. First of all, I'm sorry about your loss. But I actually do. I feel like, but it's going to be like a year or so out. And the other thing is like, you're not really putting yourself out there. You're just sort of finally putting your feelers out there energetically. Like, but I don't think you're really putting yourself out there to meet someone. I almost feel like if I'm talking about it with people, it's just been kind of talk like, well, maybe I'm ready now. But I don't feel like you've really been ready or focused on it until now. And that's where things start to shift, because like, you can daydream all you want about something, but if you don't sort of start actually taking action and energetically putting yourself out there, like, you're going to still just be sitting on your couch kind of thing. But I keep getting sick. So it feels like probably the 6th year is when it happens. You're just starting to put out your feelers. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to take a little bit. And part of it is also just getting over the awkwardness of like, dating again and connecting with people again in that way. It's like I keep getting like a few duds. Like, so you're gonna probably go through some dates where it feels, like not great. I also want to remind you just to like not settle just because you want companionship. Don't just settle. Don't just settle. It's like it's like I feel like I almost feel like this is from your husband saying this, is like, you are very much a people pleaser and you really want other people to feel loved and supported and seen and valued. And he's sort of saying, don't just be a little more cautious. Don't just give all of that away to the first person or the first two people that come along, whatever. Like, like it's okay to be picky and stingy with that. Yeah, no, I know. I just, it's just that feeling of like be picky and stingy with it. I do feel like someone comes along, he feels very nice. Um, But it's sort of that idea of like, make him work for it. And it's interesting because with your husband, it's like, I don't feel like, oh my God, he was the most amazing in the whole world. Like, I feel like he had his faults and he's making me feel like I had my faults. And really, really loves you so much. And you were, you took care of him. And it's this feeling of he doesn't want you to be taken advantage of. And in no way he's making me feel like I was not perfect. I feel like he, you probably, it's the feeling of wanting to wring his neck. And it's the idea of knowing what an angel and a light you are and wanting you to not go through that again. Yeah. So he's just like, it's sort of that reminder of like, he wants you to have the best. This, I don't know if it's a name or if it's camera, but it's something like Cameron or Camera I was hearing. And so I was like, I'm not really great at names, honestly. So I don't know if that resonates at all. I probably should manifest that differently. I'm really amazing with names. I totally get names all the time. They're so accurate. But like, I don't even know my guides' names. And I know some people are obsessed with knowing their guides' names. And I'm like, whatever, I feel them. I know what they feel like. It's good. But I'm throwing that out there because I got that. And I don't know if it means camera or cameraman or what, or if that resonates in any way. You just saw someone who is a humanitarian and thinks outside of the box. Oh, interesting. I saw someone who's like very warm smile, taller, well, taller than you, because I'm not sure that you're that tall. And he's maybe 5'10", and lighter colored hair. I would not be surprised if he's a widow himself, or widower. Women are widows. Men are widowers. Fern, what's your question? Oh, you want someone. I'm sorry, I just read that. You just want someone who is a humanitarian and thinks outside the box. I'm going to say this. Be really, really specific about what you want and make it sound totally crazy or whatever. Like, I just feel like it's okay to ask for every detail that you want. So not just a humanitarian and someone who thinks outside the box. You want someone, I'm not telling you what to want, but it's like also say things like, someone who's honest and trustworthy, someone who takes accountability, someone who's great at communication and receiving communication. I mean, there's like all kinds of things, and you can be really specific, because sometimes when you leave the details out, like, then it's like, well, great, they're a humanitarian and they think outside of the box and they're a total slob, or they're not organized, or whatever, the things that are, the day-to-day things. Just a thought for anybody who's making a list for a specific, like a specific person kind of thing. Like, be specific about what you want. And it's okay to be like, and I want to be totally crazy attracted to them. Like, it doesn't matter. That doesn't make you shallow. Just say whatever you want. I want them to be financially stable because maybe they're humanitarian and they can't pay their bills. Like, put all the details in when you're manifesting. I've been having issues at the school I've been going to. No man child. Specific. I've been having issues at the school I've been going to for the past 2 years, and I've been looking to move. So I'm wondering if you see that happening, or am I just going to stay for the year I have left? You want to transfer school, or you're looking to transfer schools or move houses? Because it like physically move your home. Hi, Independent 87. How are you? Just wanted to be specific how I'm asking the question. Right. So it's like, universe, this is what I want. These are the things that you want someone who's like totally cool with your independence too. Transfer schools. Okay. Do you want me to ask it of should you or would you or will you? Will you? Is there something, does their mascot or is there something around the school with wings? I know this is dumb, but like, is there something to do? I don't know if it's like mascot or a poster on the wall about wings, or is there, I don't know, something about wings. Does this resonate when I say that? I'm going to say this. I feel like that you will stay there and finish out. I feel like there's a change either in faculty or something, or the way they do something. Because it's like the way I'm seeing it is if I have a building and they're showing me like rotating 90 degrees. So I don't think your building's going to physically rotate 90 degrees, but it feels like there's a change. It's not a huge change. It's not like massive. You can't recognize it anymore, but it feels like they're doing something different that changes at 90 degrees and it makes it more tolerable. So I'm laughing at Independent 87. Manifesting can be daunting, but also it's not that you can't do multiple things at once because we're always manifesting multiple things. But if you're trying to manifest multiple things where you're really having to shift belief systems and multiple belief systems, sometimes that can be a little harder. How old is your daughter? Michelle, what's your question? She's 19. Gotcha. You're welcome, Fern. I'm just going to say this really quick. If she's like ADHD, remember that the neurodivergent brain, like whether you're ADHD or autistic, or, I mean, I don't know about neurodivergent means different than neurotypical. So that can include things like schizophrenia and depression and bipolar and CPTSD and like all of those things. But if you're just looking at like autism and ADHD specifically, it takes a few more years to have their frontal lobe develop fully. So like with my kids, when I look at them, especially when they get triggered emotionally, I have to remind myself that some of those behaviors are because of their developmental brain is just a few years behind where other kids are. Just a thought. So she may be like my 14-year-old is going to be more like an 11-year-old. My 12-year-old is going to be more like a 9-year-old, right? So a 19-year-old might be more like a 16-year-old. It might also help. It doesn't mean that she won't mature or can't mature, but it might also help some of the perspective on it of sometimes when we have expectations, expectations can be really unfair of people. Like, even if you're in a relationship with someone, it's like they might not be able to give love the way you wish to receive it. So is it not necessarily because they're a terrible person, but it's just like they're not capable of showing up the way you need somebody to show up. And so like it might be time to cut ties, kind of thing. All right, hang on. Let me answer Michelle's. Ready to file for divorce and feel it is the way I want to go. Okay, no judgment. Just looking for insight if this is the right direction. More concerned about the kids. Also, any guidance from those. I'm not going to do the guidance from those that have passed because you're asking a lot. That's basically a whole thing. I won't tell you it's the wrong direction to divorce someone, because I just think the idea that we think divorce is this horrible, evil thing and it just destroys people's lives is wrong. I think like with my parents, when they divorced, I remember like crying because I saw my sister crying. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. Like, if that's not like an autistic thing, I don't know what it is. I was like, okay, like my guides actually told me well in advance. They were like, your parents are going to divorce soon. I didn't think it was a bad thing because my parents fought all the time. And honestly, my father's trash. He's a terrible person. And I mean, it's not like my mom's perfect, but like they should not have remained married. And I don't think I'm a broken person because I went through divorce. I think I had a lot of trauma inflicted on me because of poor behaviors and parenting and things like that. But like, I don't know, your kids aren't going to be broken. I feel like I feel like your spouse is a bit of a mopey kind of person. As long as your kids have one parent that is stable, I think that's great. And they say statistically they are much better off if they have one stable place. And I received that research from a friend of mine who's a social worker, and she has a situation where one of her kids, it goes between her and her ex, and he's not very stable. And so it's this idea of like when you provide a stability, that's better than, that's like the best thing you can do for them. Yeah. You're a single parent. She graduated from charter school. Honor roll and is all over the place. Yeah. Listen, there's plenty of, wait, I'm just gonna go back to independent really quick. There's plenty of people who went through school and had straight A's and were amazing and still have like ADHD that's undiagnosed because the schooling systems are set up to just only look at behavioral problems or academic problems. But if they, my kids aren't behavioral problems. They aren't, and they didn't have academic issues, but like my middle child has like no executive function. She needs a lot of redirection and help and reminders and things broken down into individual instructions, because when you put too many, she walks into a room, she's like, wait, what was I supposed to do? So it's like, all right, now go pack this. All right, now go pack that. All right, now do this. Like, she needs help, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that she won't get better at it. But like, I don't know. So, okay. Independent 87 said, my parents divorced when I was younger. I understand her father lied and said that he tried to bed and he never did. What? I don't know. Let me go back to Michelle and focus on Michelle. Okay, independent. You're the stable one and the kids are really great. Yep. want their future to see a mom that's happy in a relationship that is loving. Perfect. So I feel like they'll be okay. I don't feel like they're little. Um, and it just feels like just being as amicable as possible. And even if he's not, you providing the stable place is fine. I mean, I don't want to be like my advice, but having grown up in divorce, like I can tell you the things you shouldn't do. Don't talk crap about the other parent. Because the fact of the matter is they will figure out exactly who he is. And 12 is like a great age for figuring out who people are. Acknowledge how hard it is for them. Acknowledge that it's a big change. Honor that. Therapy's fabulous. Our support groups of other kids that are kind of going through it. But like, it may be hard for you, but it's a lot harder for them. And I mean that because you could see the writing on the wall for so long and they maybe can't. And they don't have an idea of that it could be so much better because they're little. Not little, but young. They'll be fine. And I would say, like, the one thing I keep hearing is like, don't date right away. Don't date right away. Just wait a little bit. Do you have an oldest daughter? – 14 and 12. Yeah. I feel like your 14-year-old around like 16 isn't going to want to go and visit as much. I also feel like it may start out where it's like 50-50 custody, but I don't think it's going to end up that way because it just school-wise and everything else, it's going to be harder. Oh, your daughter's 30. Oh, you have an older daughter too. No, I think I was thinking of the 14-year-old. Wait, who's the stepdaughter? I'm confused. The 30-year-old? You have two sons. Oh, okay. Did the 30-year-old daughter not want to like sort of start moving away from him at 16? Then maybe that's what I'm getting. You have a 30-year-old stepdaughter. Okay. Okay. I feel like you'll still keep in touch with her. She stopped wanting to come around at 16 because of her dad. Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. I feel like you'll still keep in touch with her. I actually feel like your 14-year-old son will be relieved because I feel like he complains about his dad to you. So it's going to be fine. I mean, The 12-year-old might have a little bit of a hard time, but not, I feel like it passes easily because it's sort of his eyes become opened. Okay. And I don't want to say I'm sorry that's happening, like, because congratulations. I'm, I mean, I guess you grew from it. So it's like, and you got these two wonderful kids from it. All right, JA, what's your question? And then we're going to go ahead and do the cards quick. Michelle, I'm not going to do the guidance from the past loved ones because I already felt into their energy and stuff. And so if I connect in, that's like a whole other reading and like connecting, like doing mediumship, right? And like $12 is, I don't mean to be like stingy, but like also like that, those are full readings, like me sitting with you for 30 minutes and connecting in to those kind of energies on the other side. Okay, JA, what's your question for me? Sounds good, Michelle. It's a little hard. I don't know if I'm just noticing like with the cross chatter today, and I don't know if it's normal, but like when you guys cross chatter to each other, I want you to develop connections, but also it's energetically it's a little hard because it's almost like hearing people talking in your ear energetically. I don't know if you understand that, but like yeah, it's a little. I know other readers don't read all the comments and they go back and but like I am kind of paying attention to them because I'm looking for the person that I'm reading for to respond. What's your question, JA? And I know algorithm wise, I should want people to do all of that because it's like helps, but I don't know. Question where? Because it's, can you just, your son wanted to visit you in Sweden around September this year. I really want him here, but I am not sure I can afford his visit this year. I feel like by October, you'll be able to. End of October, November. When do you finish your oh yeah, that would be a good community feature. Mm-hmm. I worry about some things. Some things that worry me about community is, so I'm gonna have to put some rules around it. Like I don't want people posting their own businesses or their own like that stuff, or posting like I'm gonna be very stingy about information you post if you post stuff, because that's the thing I didn't like about the community setup in Stan Store. Like I didn't want to have that. So I'm not even sure how I'm gonna do that. We'll have to see. Because since it's my community, I want it to be like in alignment with what I see as, and maybe that makes me a dictator, but healthy dialogue and connection, and also like not bringing in weird conspiracy theory type stuff. You always ask me, like, listen, I answer a question for you, Jay, and you then always come back and you're like, well, but this, and there's all these other reasons why you're wrong. I'm like, well, I don't know. That's just what I'm getting. Like, I understand that. I don't see him coming. I don't see him happening in August. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know about weather there. I literally saw the name of the month, October. So I don't know what to tell you. That's just what I got. Yes, I feel like he'll be fine no matter what. As somebody who's like lived across the country from I moved in with my dad when I was 13. I was 25 miles away from him my mom at that point, and obviously I couldn't drive to go see her, so I saw her every other weekend, and then so twice a month I saw her, and then the year later we moved to Wisconsin, so I saw her 3 times a year. Like, I didn't really give a shit that when I went in the summertime in Houston that it was oppressively hot and disgusting. I just wanted to see my mom. So I had a nice time because I was spending a month with my mom. So remember that. It's not like weather doesn't make something miserable for somebody when they're getting to see their parent and they haven't seen them in a while. Like, yeah, it's vacation, but it's not like the kind of vacation you're thinking of. I remember that. Okay. You guys want to do the tarot card pulls? Let me show you what I have. I realize there's no Regine here today. Dragon card, I have the book here today. Let's see. Nobody was interested in the Rumi, so I'm going to leave that out, and I'm going to leave the astrology one out because I don't think we took that one at all. The wisdom of the oracle, past life, spirit animal, the enchanted map, messages from your angels, daily guidance from your angels. They're different decks, so please be specific. I've got the archetypes, the unknown archetypes, pocket edition, the Green Witch's Oracle, and I'm going to leave the other ones out for today just to make my life easier, so I don't have to keep showing you 15 different decks. Okay. All right, so just put in which deck you want. Green Witch for Katrina. We'll start there. Just put in whichever deck you want, and I'll find your name on here and go through it. All right, so what card does Katrina want today? What does she need for this week? What guidance does Katrina need for this week? Okay, so you got the pine tree, which is vitality, longevity, and perseverance. E5. Putting my reading glasses on. All right. Hold on. These are schmudgy. All right. The pine tree is a symbol of life enduring, the promise that even if things seem dark, it's not over. Some kinds of pine trees have root systems that are centuries old, and while a single tree may die, the established root system can introduce a new seedling to replace it. The rejuvenation cycle tells us that even when something appears to be dead or finished, there are still roots alive. Nothing is ever truly gone. Don't give up on it. Pine is a popular building material. It absorbs shock, is resistant to excessive swelling and shrinking, and although it dents easily, it is long lasting. The pine tree card tells you to hang in there. Life may be knocking you around a bit, but even dented, you're reliable and can last longer than you think. Reflection. Have you given up on something you shouldn't have? I like the ones that have reflection ones, not my glasses where you can only see the light, because I feel like it gives you a focus, a thing to do. All right. Allie wants the map one. The enchanted map. It was kind of like the email reading. Yeah. I'm trying to like, not be the like, oh, I don't want to send a negative reading, but like, if that's what I pull, that's what I pull. Maybe there's a reason that someone needs to hear that information, right? Okay. What does Allie need to know today? Oh, you got two. All right. Slow and Steady and Golden Palace. I'll show you what those are. Ready? Slow and Steady and Golden Palace. All right. So I'll do Slow and Steady first, which is number 12. Slow and steady wins the race. Remember the old cliche, slow and steady wins the race? This is a time for easy movement, unhurried steps, and a steady heart. Trust that taking life at more leisurely pace will give you greater access to your dreams. Slowing down allows more contact with the juicier elements of your life. Savor them. And then Golden Palace says, there's always enough. The Golden Palace card represents good fortune, ambitions, fulfilled wealth, and prosperity. It may also indicate emotional fulfillment, as perhaps you've entered a time of happiness that's long overdue. The message here is that self-worth isn't measured by what you have, no matter how abundant your life is. Instead, it comes from what you are, how authentically you're living your life, and how much love you're willing to share. Granted, receiving this card does indicate material gain and a furthering of tangible rewards, but things come and go, and knowing your true value leads to even greater riches. Now, share the wealth. Okay, and that's that. Michelle wants past life. And then I don't know if anybody else is here and they want one. Oh, good. I'm glad you were here to hear that then. Hi, Monica. Monica, the private readings are the individual private readings are closed. That list is closed. Those are normally $12 a question. So you'd pay the $12, which I normally have the link when the list is open. And then I donate 30% of that money to Community Food Bank of New Jersey. But if you want to do a quick card pull, I can show you my decks that I have, and I'd be happy to do one of those, and those are free. Okay, so this one is for Michelle. Michelle, what past life is important for her to learn about right now? Connection to a past life is important for her to learn about. Okay. All right. Interesting. Love life. I swear to God, I didn't look at it. It just like sort of popped out and they were like, stop and pull that one. I'm like, okay, I'll stop and pull that one. Okay. So it's not cards about your situation. I'll let you choose from one of the decks I have, and that's how we'll do it. This is not a tarot reading. But it'll be whatever you end up with will be pertinent. So just give me a second and I'll tell you. Okay, so Michelle, love life. This card comes to you as an indication that your love life is affected by one or more previous lifetimes. Most likely you had a painful experience back then and that has caused you to be overly cautious. In such cases, working on yourself can help you reopen your beautiful, loving heart. In that way, you can love and be loved again. It's also likely that this card comes to you as validation that the man or woman you've romantically interested in was also a prominent person in your past life. This individual may not necessarily have been a romantic partner at that time, but your inclination to connect romantically in this life is definitely part of a greater plan. Lady, I don't make this stuff up. All right, so here are my decks, and you can pick one. Monica, okay. So this one is Past Life. I've got Dragon's Path. I have Wisdom of the Oracle. I have the Green Witches Oracle deck. I've got pocket archetypes, daily guidance from your angels, messages from your angels, the enchanted map, and spirit animal medicine. Choose, and I will be happy to pull a card from there. Isn't that interesting? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Wisdom. Okay. All right. Card. Does Michelle need? Not Michelle. Sorry, Monica. What card does Monica need today? What would be most beneficial for her to receive? It's funny because sometimes intuition-wise, I have to tell you when I'm drawing the cards, sometimes it's like, they can't do it this way, and then like one will fly. And you got observer. It's very interesting to me because it'll be like, and then like even with the one with Michelle was like, I started to split the deck and they're like, nope, grab that one. Like it's very specific. You just listen. I'm like, okay. So observer is, let me put these back on so I can actually read the book without doing all kinds of weird acrobats. 49. And it came upright. So we'll give the prosperity message. So essential meanings are perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance, the oracle's message. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances or more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. The relationship message. Sometimes, since I don't know, whatever. Sometimes you just can't see the forest through the trees in your way. For the trees in your way. Sorry, let me start over. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It's likely the other person has no idea how his or her words affected you. Take a few steps back and lend understanding to the situation. Have faith in your connection and trust that you can come together. Take to higher ground now and cultivate curiosity about what you have observed in yourself, in others, and in the landscape. You will find things much improved sooner than you know. Prosperity message. It is an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from a different perspective. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and time be dictated by spirit. You may be too personally attached to an outcome and unable to see the miracle because it's not turning out exactly as you planned. Trust spirit. The perfect version of your abundance is right in front of you. And remain neutral and curious and watch the miracle unfold. Okay, that's that. I hope everybody has a wonderful week. It is hard to choose one, but you can come back again next week and choose a different deck. So I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Sunday. I will be back doing readings at my regular time of 4 p.m. Eastern time, and I'll see you later. Have a good one. Thanks for joining me.